I just went and checked out Wayne Daniels' channel. I remember his face and how I discovered him. He was cussing out Chief Handler. So he had 2 channels. So yeah. So I don't know if something happened with his other channel. Yeah. I kind of hit different when you remember who that person is, ain't it? That wasn't no little dude. So kind of puts a little fear in me when James Ronhoney says he ran up on somebody and they pulled a gun. He wasn't a small dude. He's like about my size, but tall. Yeah, I remember him. I don't know how he can get shot, though, if his last video is him laying in bed, can barely breathe with COVID. Unless some fuck nigga came in his room and shot him. So that just sounds like a bunch of hearsay and rumors that the targeted individual community is spreading. People got to just stop taking and running with stuff. Just making up rumors. I don't believe he died of COVID. I believe he got shot. They took him out. Stop with that shit, bruh. I don't get how people can see evidence lying right in front of them or something and still try to redirect and say shit that of their own, base it as facts. I was due to send condolences to his family. Damn, that was about a month ago. I send condolences to him and his family. Damn. Because I went to go check. Because I'm like hearing this whole big old argument thing about this Wayne Daniels dude and my twin sister being compared to him. Now let me go see who this dude even is. And then it jogged my memory. I remember that face. Now, I didn't watch a lot of his videos, so I can't speak on if he was actually being targeted or not. But from what I've seen, it does seem like he went through a lot, or quite a bit. But most of the videos I've seen was pretty much him just standing and chatting, or sitting and chatting. I didn't see any of the action videos. But I did stumble across and just skim through like a Papa John's video or some other video where the police just sitting out there. I'm like, some people go through a lot. Some people go through some unfair shit. Just imagine being attacked or something happening to you and somebody be like, oh, that's your fault. It's people's interpretation of stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Or even the police just, crazy stuff like that happened to me. So I'm pretty sure, I'm sure some people that are targeted individuals have been dealt a bad hand, feel like life is just not fair, and just want to retaliate on motherfuckers. you know? And I felt that emotion where life just wasn't fair and I just can't process or understand why this shit is happening. The emotional retaliate, but realistically, let's sit down and be realistic about it. Can you actually? No. Okay, well, sit down and shut up. That's what I tell myself. Especially when the police get involved and they don't do shit. What can you do? I've been there. And that's why those who are actually targeted, I can sympathize. It's not like I haven't told my story on my channel. It's a whole lot more I have not told. Like encounters with the police, where perpetrators have gotten away with what they have done to me. But with all candy, go on there and say, oh, they didn't even believe her. And you guys just eat that shit up. Like finding out when them dudes hard-tied and raped me that the police was in cahoots with them. And when I moved, I was in fear of my life and I moved. Took me and my daughter and I moved. I was pregnant still. And the police told them where I moved. Didn't know that, did you? They went knocking from door to door. You know a lady that just moved here with a little girl? And the neighbors next door told them, yeah, right here. And my daughter just kept crying and crying and crying all night. Oh, we just kept hearing there's a knock on the door. And we heard the conversation. Well, I did, but that's probably why my daughter was crying. She probably could feel. Yeah, mama, it's them niggas. And I'm walking one day. It's the other dude. Walked by me. Fuck you looking at? Yeah, I had skedaddle to another part of that area, that particular city. And I was just in too much fear of my life. I jetted to another state. So, I mean, I could have stayed separated from my husband, right? He abandoned us, left us in that situation. But the weird thing is, I guess he wanted to feel like our knight in shining armor at the last minute. I went back to get some of my stuff from the apartment. Them niggas came back and ransacked the whole apartment. Destroyed all of our stuff. They came back because I went and told the police. I just wasn't there. That's the more detail to the story, right? And it's even more, I mean, it's long and drawn out because you're talking about like what? A month's worth of detail where the police kept shooting me over to another detective, another detective, another detective. They kept closing the case and reopening the case. Talking about this camera not working. I'm gonna have to get another camera. My face was like unrecognizable, right? The state troopers found my car, not even the local police. And it took them about a month to find my car. In that car was them guys' ID. And the gun was in the back of my trunk. Imagine what that did to me seeing that gun. I didn't even want to touch it. But the family just thought everything was so funny. I just made it all up. Why the fuck did I leave Shreveport then? And moved halfway across the country to Virginia, where the entire time I was there, my husband kept throwing in my face that he was going to call them dudes to come back and do something to me again every time things didn't go his way. But yeah, I had to pay like $700 to get the car out the pound. That's how long. I'm like, why I got to pay to get the money, get the car out the pound? Windows was busted because they had to, get the dudes to pull over, or maybe they shot the car. I don't know. I don't know how they went about to get the guys to pull over, but they fucked over my car. But in the midst of all that, I had to do all this to protect my daughter. And my unborn child. And in the midst of this, Brandy didn't do no sleeping around. Brandy, it was a cross between me taking my husband back and them two. How did Brandy catch a STD? That is very more embarrassing to talk about. I'm married. I don't sleep around. Why do I have this STD? I don't deserve any of this. My husband wanna fuck me while I'm sleeping. So we just kept passing it back and forth to each other. And I'm telling him, say, man, can we wait till the baby is born? Can we finish the medicine first? He's like, if you don't give it to me, I'm gonna rape you. So constantly just trying to re-trigger me, right? So if Candy's being gang stalked, then what the fuck was Brandy going through? No, let me rephrase that. If Candy is a targeted individual, then what was Brandy? That was the very first time I had to run from state to state. I don't know if it's the older and older I get, the more it seems to affect me. Or the more and more she bring the shit. I was just like beginning to start to heal because of the out of sight, out of mind type deal. And then last year I hear about all these videos about all this shit. And you want to talk about the worst way to discredit somebody? How about the worst way to discredit somebody is to laugh at a pregnant woman that this has happened to? That is the worst way to discredit somebody, is laugh and say she got Korean screaming rape. Or somebody's fresh meat in the military and your own family laughs about you being raped in the military. You fresh on the base. Wasn't even on the base 2 weeks. You're just moving your stuff to a new dorm. You ain't asked nobody to help you, none of that shit. Because some guy was fucking drunk. You thinking you can have male platonic friendships You thought that I don't know, your retarded mind thought that just happens back at home. Maybe your foster mom was doing it, or just people where you live at. You thought that people in the military don't rock like that because all of the reputation that their whole things. You didn't think that people in the military would do no shit like that to you. So your dumb ass just trust people around this motherfucker. Not thinking satanic spirits operate everywhere. Like that a police would drug and rape a woman or plant drugs on a man. You thought that maybe the people in the military could do no wrong because that's your retarded 18-year-old thinking. And then it happens to you. And then here go Candy on the internet discrediting what happened to me, but then says it all happens to her. Shit sad. I don't know why I'm still taking medication. Where's one that says for anxiety? Because I have a gabapentin bottle around here that says for anxiety. Some say for anxiety. Some say at bedtime. Lithium for mood. Who would be okay with taking this shit? Diphenhydramine, that's a new. I mean, it's for allergies too, but recently prescribed it for my anxiety. No, they took the anxiety part off. But if you look it up, you'll see that you can take gabapentin. Google, can you take gabapentin for anxiety? I know another guy, he's schizoaffective. He takes gabapentin for anxiety as well. So, there you go. Gabapentin. I'm also starting to be inclined to believe. Now I ain't gonna say that. This is not the video for that. I didn't even want to put my business out here on the internet like this. I mean, it's not like I haven't before, but still, not for the vultures and the haters to. They don't deserve to know this type of information about me. They don't. Now that I'm older and there's a separation that needs to happen. But you can't with YouTube. And this is the fucking platform that Candy chooses to do all this about me on. So here it is, my platform. It's wearing me down, man. Keep having to relive memory lane. It's wearing me down because it's woke back up and now I have to re-heal from the beginning all over again. I'm sitting there asking my therapist and all like that, put me back in military sexual trauma program. They like, you already had that therapy. I'm like, okay, well, I need it again. You know how long ago that was? You want to talk about a cold world? I can't. I don't know nobody that sit there and say what they died, deserve to die like this or deserve to die like that. I don't know Wayne Daniels' situation. I haven't kept up with him. I don't know. And I'm not trying to cross any boundaries or disrespect anybody. But I know that so far, what I've seen, James Rawhoney hasn't lied or twisted up any stories yet. And the whole point she was trying to make was that if she seen that video with him doing that, and that man pulled a gun out on him, that if Candy doesn't stop, that can happen to her and potentially be worse. That was her point. And I'm like, people missed the whole point. All they heard was Wayne Daniels and took and ran with it. They weren't even listening after that point. All they heard was his name and ran with it. Unless they one of them people too, they not even brave enough to do what Candy do. Run up on people, curse them out, call them gangsters. They one of the ones that run up on people that they say are harassing them as well. And I think that that's probably where their anger come from. Candy said, this is proof. This is my proof. Is there some type of computer in the brain somewhere that computes all this, generates this information that proves that that particular person is harassing her? Like I said last night, she made a video saying about a girl, a kid, was gang stalking her. Are you, bruh, I know what I'm talking about. Apparently, I'm preaching to the wrong assembly. Candy says I have people brainwashed. They idolize Candy, and Candy said, leave me alone, leave my twin sister alone, and stop worshiping my twin sister. Apparently, people worship you. Now, basically, what J. Andrew Ronnie was saying was that was two different situations. A gun being pulled out on Wayne Daniels and how Wayne Daniels passed away were two different situations. But then I guess they tried to say she was trying to say that that was how he died. Not once did she say that. But then they saying she slandered. No, they're slandering her with how they took and ran and got upset. And that dude kicked off the whole. I wasn't even trying to even speak or have beef with that dude, bro. And I still don't. But it's like That dude kicked off the whole fire. And for him to sit there and say he a targeted individual, but he sit there and got big kahunas down there to talk all that big man shit to her like that. Like, dude, you ain't no targeted individual. I'm sorry. You are not. Not the way you sit there and talk to a woman like that. Like, you gun talk and meet up and let's square this off and we could take it here. We could take it to the backyard, take it to the back door, take it around the corner. We could take this outside type talk. You could talk all that to a woman, but you targeted by men? Targeted by police? Dude, you're not targeted. I'm going to tell you to your face, you're not. Not you and whoever, them other men up in the comments, like you got this big baseball bat you finna swing at her head. Like you got these big balls to swing at her head. You targeted over here, but you got balls over there. Let's make that make sense. So why don't you take that same energy over here to use it towards your targeting? I don't like when men try to handle up on women. I don't. And even worse, you a whole pussy when it comes to, I'm a targeted individual. I'm targeted. You're not. And like she said, feminine energy. You know better than a gay man. Just sit there and wanna, let me take off my nails, girl. We gonna swing. I'm gonna swing on you. But you tuck in your nuts when it comes to other men. Or when it comes to your targeting, you tuck in your nuts. Where are your nuts? Oh, you busy showing them out to the women. If she did disrespect him, I could see that. But she was making a point. One day y'all gonna learn. One day. But y'all listen to respond and don't listen to gain information and then respond correctly. Or to just simply gain information. But y'all was ready to charge at her because she was coming for y'all baby anyway. Once again, where's her car? Where's her 2019 Lincoln Navigator? Where's her cottage? Where's her $20,000? You can't even get it up for yourself. When you gonna realize that she's playing y'all? Bunch of goofies.